That I would like to invite Mr. Amer Iqbal on the stage. Kindly come forward. He's a seasoned business leader and he's focused on trade and economic policy. Then we are having the panelist, Reverend Dr. Sir Somana Siri. He is distinguished scholar and Buddhist monk. Then we are having Mr. Imran Shokat. He is Ambassador on Buddhist Heritage Promotion for Pakistan for Green Tourism. Last but not the least, we are having Dr. Imran Siddiqui as our panelist. He is Additional Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
This Pakistan heritage is it's a very rich heritage that Pakistan has. I would like to just say a few words here, give an intro. Pakistani heritage goes back to 7000 BCE, Mehrgarh, and then it comes to the Indus civilization, from Neolithics to the Chalcolithic age. And it is from 3300 BC till 1800 BCE, then we enter into the Vedic era, which is 1800 BCE, and then it's culminate around 500 BCE. Gandhara, the most famous history that has been well learned and well said on many occasions, is perhaps the most important part of our heritage. And then we enter into the Rajput heritage once the White Huns came to this part of India, United India then, and then eventually the Muslim conquerors, they came to the part of this where Pakistan is located today, and eventually the Mughal era, and then the British era came in, and then after 1947, the present Pakistan. Now, once we talk of the civilization, it is not just a civilization with the passage of the age, but it has a very diverse, its heritage sites, its culture, its traditions. It is, religion has been said very much earlier also, the food and the cuisine, this is part of our heritage, the languages and the races which are living in Pakistan today. It is a fusion of different races from coming to the European to Indo, the Hindus, the Indians and the Persians, fusions of the races. Then we saw the Turkish and Indos, and then the Greeks and Indos, and all those races were present, and most of them are, even today, they are here in Pakistan. With this brief intro, now I will just hand over the podium to one of the most learned authority on the heritage, Imran Shokat Saab. I think it is now your turn. If you want to come on a rostrum, you can just come over, because there is no need to give his introduction. It has been given in a book also, and he is a very renowned authority on heritage of Pakistan, tourism.
Part of the US, but now we are setting up chapters elsewhere. And they have a lot of interest in investing in Pakistan in areas of tourism and, of course, many other things that we're looking at. I've been very fortunate. This is just a quick sampling of some of the things. I've been very fortunate. I've been working in Thailand. I've been working, thanks to Ambassador Masood, who started something which is the Pakistan corner in the bottom over there. That was initiated by him when he was ambassador in Thailand, and that led me to engage more and more into promoting the cultural and the heritage ties between Pakistan and Thailand, which led to a roadmap that we are following now. I'm talking with Ambassador Rizwan in the US. I'm working with Ambassador Roxana. I'm working in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia to take these things forward. But this is just a sampling of the activities, and my ambition always is, I've been hosting monks here from Thailand, from Malaysia. They come, they sometimes stay with me, and they end up publishing books like The Man of Gandhara, which actually is the best promotion of Pakistan. I firmly believe when it comes to Buddhism and Gandhara, we have only excavated 15% of the total sites, and it is these honorable monks who are our best ambassadors. I'm going to talk, I know all day we've been talking about different subjects of tourism, and I'm one of those who likes to focus. My focus is one, why is it Gandhara, why is it Buddhism? I'm just starting to look like a monk, but this happened before I got involved in Gandhara, so let's not confuse things. There are many categories of tourism, and I will very quickly say, first, I'm a firm believer, all the categories are important. Okay, it's not that I'm here saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't. Rana Aftab is a dear friend of mine. I honor him tremendously, and I feel everybody has a role. But I will tell you why my focus was on the heritage and the Gandharan side. Here's a sampling of the categories of tourism. I have only mentioned 26. I know there's actually close to about 35 or even 40 categories. And when you look at those, Pakistan has to decide which ones do we want to be getting into. We can't really try to go after everything, right? So the yellow ones are the ones that I'm noticing in the last year or two. There's a lot more chat going on about going into cultural, medical, agro-tourism, sport tourism, coastals or beaches, culinary, and other such things. The blue categories are the ones that I know we've been working on for a long, long time. These are the adventure, nature, religious, and heritage. So when you have these categories, where do we want to go with them? From my perspective, the highest potential is actually in the religious or the heritage categories, and then comes the nature and the adventure and all the other categories we're talking about. Once again, that is not to say one is more important than the other. They all are. But I will prove to you through numbers where should we be making more investment versus where we can go, because it will take time. We all have to work on all of them, but it will take time for us to get there. So I will speak of all these categories very quickly, one slide each. And I suggest Pakistan start looking at laying its own path. As they say from the old, anybody who's old enough to remember Star Trek, boldly going where the world has not gone before. First, I will start off with the category that Pakistan has been working for a long, long time. Of course, we have beautiful mountains, we have beautiful scenery. We have been focusing on the northern areas for the last 70 years. I sometimes kiddingly say we've been selling mountains to the world for decades at this point. And some wonderful things have happened, which is we have been labeled as the third highest potential adventure destination, best holiday destination, the tourist next big thing by Lonely Planet. So yes, we are making headway and room into the world. Very true. But the other side is, because of the negative perception, this is a category that invites a lot of younger people, Western people, and they get turned off by a couple of things. It's a dry country. We can't change that overnight. There are cultural clashes. When these kind of tourists come, they want to be walking on the street with their girlfriend, their wife, holding hands. We start having some cultural clashes at that time. Then, of course, there's a bigger issue of negative perceptions about Pakistan that impact these tourists from wanting to come to Pakistan in droves. But that only means that we have to fix all these things. And I feel that eventually we can bring in hundreds of thousands of people, but it will take some more work to change people's mind. The other issue is that benefit only goes to a very limited region, as somebody had pointed out earlier. This is only in the north, right? And we have all the rest of Pakistan also. So we have to think about that. The other category that I know that many are starting to work in Pakistan now is the World Heritage Sites. And that's one other people will speak of more. But here's my point on that one. India is next door. India gets 20 million visitors every year. They have 42 World Heritage Sites on the UNESCO list. Okay, and that draws people to them. Because there are a lot of people who retire in the world, they get old, whether America, Korea, Japan, they have a bucket list. Let's visit the World Heritage Sites. And these are good people. They're not out there partying or drinking, they're conservative, and we have sites all over Pakistan. So the benefit will spread all over Pakistan rather than a specific region. Our only handicap right now is that compared to India's 42 World Heritage Sites on the UNESCO list, we only have 6. And we have 26 more sites that have been there to be approved on the UNESCO Heritage List that have been there since 1988. So we have to finish up the dossiers, get these sites approved, and once you do that, I do feel you'll end up with 1 million visitors over time who will start coming. Finally, I'll go to the area that's closest to me. The religious sites, there are 2 different religious heritage specifically. The Sikh part we spoke of extensively, so I won't get into that. I will speak more on the Buddhist or the Gandharan heritage, and most of my work has been in this area. The potential is actually limitless. Now, not to again put down the Sikh side, the total Sikhs in the world are 30 million, roughly. The total Buddhists in the world are more than 550 million at this point. Now think about that. 500 million, 30 million. We have spent a lot of time and money on promoting one side, as we should. But let's now start turning the focus on the 550 million people. And I say, in 10 years, if you can bring only 1% of them to the world, to Pakistan, that's 5 million people. So we can actually have almost a limitless supply of tourists. And the best part about the Buddhists are, they are very humble. You can see, this is the gang. In the middle is a vice rector of Thomas Art University, Dr. Nityanand, that Ambassador Masood knows very well. They came with the monk, 150 of them. They stayed 3 months in Pakistan. And the way they dress, this was pictured at Lahore Fort, they fit in very nicely. People love them when they go into the communities. So, of course, I will not get into the other side, which is our own heritage of shrines and Sufism that exists. But my whole point is, bring the Buddhist monks, the peers, the ones who have spiritual followings. What we do a lot, of course, is we invite a lot of Buddhist academics. They're monks who are academics, who write wonderfully, they promote Pakistan, but then the other categories of the ones that we would call a peer, which will end up like the Fo Guangshan order has 4 million followers all over the world, with 400 temples all over the world, South America, America, Europe. Those are the kind of people that we need more of. Because if once their leader comes, security becomes a non-issue. Now, of course, we have Reverend Dr. Siri sitting here. He's the chief monk for UK and EU. There's about 3 million Buddhists in these 2 countries. They see him sitting in Pakistan. They're the least bit bothered about, is there a security problem in Pakistan? He said, our leader has been there. We can go there, not a problem. To prove my point, I'm going to put my dear friend Rana Saab on the spot. I got it out of his Pakistan Tourism Development Policy that he put together. This is to prove my point. Category number 1 are the figures by PTDC in that policy of the people that are currently coming to Pakistan. 5,000 in the adventure category, overseas Pakistani 1 lakh, cultural heritage 25, Sikh 1,800, maybe more, and heritage and Gandhara 2,000. So we're talking about 130,000 people that came, and the total revenue generated is about 500 million out of that. This is current situation. Our projection, and again, bravo, let's triple, quadruple the amount. This is the projection by PTDC, that adventure tourism can go up to 100,000, overseas Pakistanis up to 1 million out of the 10 million that are out there, culture and heritage 150, Sikh 225, heritage Gandhara 3 lakh, the corresponding numbers, that means we can generate about $6 billion. That is great. And I tell you, you get 5 million Buddhists, 1% of the total Buddhists, 5 million, that translates to 30 billion. Rana Saab and I argue on our ambitions quite a little bit. But I always say, aim big, then you will miss small. This is just my last slide, and when we talk about infrastructure, we talk a lot about infrastructure, what is required, what is not required. I know from my Thai monks and others, they said, give us 8 acres of land, give us some piece of land, and we will bring the investment. We need a meditation hall. We need a nice little peaceful environment with monks के लिए huts बनी हुई हो वहाँ पे, small restaurant. They don't need 5-star facilities. They don't need 3-star facilities, but they need a nice, clean, peaceful environment. And they are willing to bring the investment to make it happen. And so, to go beyond that, which I will not get into, this is too detailed. Please follow up on this. I have developed sectors in Bangladesh, 16 sectors for the 12 years I was there. So I'm the kind of guy who goes, come up with the strategy, give yourself 10 years to do it. And these are the 10 steps that are required for us to create a really mega sector on tourism. And really it applies to all categories of tourism, but some bubbles are specific to Buddhist tourism. So with that, I'll end that. Thank you very much.